Many now calling for answers and accountability for the Supreme Court leaker.
When the news broke of a leaked draft opinion, I was flabbergasted. It is truly stunning. In over 2 centuries of our nation's history, this has never happened. And this is as corrosive, as destructive to the Supreme Court as we've ever seen.
This lawless action should be investigated and punished to the fullest extent possible. The fullest extent possible. I'm certain the Chief Justice will seek to get to the bottom of this.
And Chief Justice Roberts is already on the hunt to find out who the leaker is. Today he released a statement saying, in part, quote, "I've directed the marshal of the court to launch an investigation into the source of the leak." The marshal of the Supreme Court appears to be in charge of figuring out who it is. The marshal heads the United States Supreme Court Police, who handle security for the Supreme Court building and for the justices personally. They answer to the court itself, not the president or the attorney general. Currently, the marshal is Colonel Gail A. Curley, who took over the position a year ago. Joining me now is Josh Blackman, professor at the South Texas College School of Law in Houston. Thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it. All right, so lay out for us what power or resources does the marshal of the Supreme Court have to lead this kind of investigation?
You know, the marshal's a bit of an obscure position. Generally, her job is to supervise the Supreme Court police and to manage the workforce of the court. But now the Chief Justice has thrust her into this significant and controversial issue. I think it's likely she might bring the FBI and other forms of federal law enforcement to investigate, possibly interrogate law clerks, interrogate staffers, and maybe perform forensic examinations to see if there was a hack of any computer systems.
Is there a law here that may have been broken? And if so, is that something that the marshal would be investigating?
Possibly. So if there was a hack, that is someone on the outside hacked the Supreme Court system, there would be a crime. If someone actually stole the opinion, just lying on a desk somewhere in the court and they ripped it up and stole it, that might be theft of government property. But if this document was leaked from a clerk who had access to the files, it's not clear there's actually a crime that's been committed.
Let me play a piece of sound. Bill Barr, the former attorney general, was interviewed by Megyn Kelly today on this issue, and here's what he had to say.
What crime could this possibly be?
Well, it could be obstructing the administration of justice, the due process of justice.
Mm-hmm. That's a stretch, though, no?
Well, no, it's not. Your obstruction means you're attempting to influence, through some kind of wrongdoing, and I don't think it's a stretch.
Professor, is it a stretch?
It's a little bit rich for Bill Barr to raise his argument because Trump was obstructing everything and nothing was obstruction for the Trump year. So I think the obstruction statute is a bit of a reach. The more likely repercussion is public shaming. Justice Scalia famously said, if any clerk leaks something, I will destroy your career. I think whoever did this should be tarred and feathered, so to speak, and be dragged out, maybe put through disciplinary proceedings from the bar. But we need to get to the bottom of this. It needs to be transparent. It can't be swept under the rug. Whoever did it must be singled out and subject to public excoriation.
I guess my concern is, it's nice to say we're going to hand this over to the Supreme Court marshal. It sounds like a big sort of vaunted position, et cetera. But I can't imagine the Supreme Court marshal has a staff of, cyber experts, for example, who's going to be able to go through, right, and evaluate the computers of all of the clerks and people who they may have been in contact with.
I think they bring the FBI. I think they have to. If they have to do interrogations, if they have to do cyber forensic work, scan the devices of the law clerks, et cetera, this has to be done competently and thoroughly, and I'm sure the FBI will volunteer.
All right. Well, we shall see. I think it's very important that they investigate this very seriously. I think that this is very important to maintaining the faith in the Supreme Court, to understand exactly how this happened, why it happened, et cetera. Professor Josh Blackman, thank you.
Thank you so much.